Hello, I'm starting another reading vlog. Hello, welcome back guys. How have you guys been? It's been probably a week since we've last met. I hope you're doing well, taking care of yourself. I hope it wasn't too busy at work. I hope it wasn't too busy at school. I hope you guys are adjusting well going back to school if you guys are in school. And I hope you guys had a nice week at work where nothing too crazy happened. Although I feel like it probably did. That's just stuff that we can't avoid and it just always happens. But welcome. It's been a week since I've uploaded my reading vlog that I've broken down into 2 parts, and I wasn't going to film another reading vlog so soon because I have some other videos that I have planned to film tomorrow, and you'll probably see them before this reading vlog. I wanted to film a reading vlog because I have a certain plan for myself for this weekend where I want to challenge myself to see how many romance novellas from Kindle Unlimited I can read in a day and a half, maybe. I want to read a lot of romance novellas, mostly because there's just so many on my TBR that I'm actually really interested in that I just want to gobble them up. Maybe they're from my favorite authors, maybe they have a really nice cover, maybe the synopsis just caught my attention. It's just all these novellas that I want to read, and plus it will, give me a little boost in confidence to complete a full-length novel, although I've been doing pretty well with reading this week. This week I've actually read physical books, and it's been such a long time since I've read physical books, mostly because I don't have time to hold a book and to only focus on that book during that time in my week that I have time to read. Like, I have to do like a million things other. Like, I multitask, right? Like, I'm at work, I'm listening to audiobook. I'm washing dishes, listening to audiobook. So physical books don't really fit in my schedule too much. But for some reason this week, I had a little bit more time where I can actually sit down at the end of the day at work and actually pick up a book and actually read it. And did I like those books that I read? No, they were like 2-star reads, but we're not going to get into that. But I like the fact that I was getting back into physical reading. But the sad part is that I actually gave up on audiobooks. And this is weird for me because I'm usually an audiophile and I just love listening to audiobooks as my main source of reading. However, for some reason, these past 2 weeks have been really brutal for me in terms of concentration. I cannot concentrate on audiobooks for the life of me. I don't know why. I feel like there's just too many voices inside my head where I'm thinking about work, or I'm constantly thinking about ABCD on my checklist, and then I don't want to have other voices in my head telling me like a thriller novel plotline or a romance story plotline. Plus, there's not that many audiobooks right now that I have from my library that I want to listen to. They don't interest me, and the books that I want to read don't have audiobooks. Therefore, I read physical books or ebooks. But anyways, long story short, we're going to see how many novellas I can read in this weekend. I feel like I can do 10. I feel like if I concentrate, I can do 10 and it'll be like easy. And I want to bring you along with me so that you guys can know what I'm reading. And then another thing is that one of the things that's stopping me from reading as many as I hoped was that there's this new Netflix drama that just dropped. It's a short series. It's only 10 episodes. Each episode's an hour long. But if I watch it at 1.5 times the speed, then I could probably finish it this weekend. And I'm so intrigued by it and I want to watch it so bad. It's another zombie Korean drama similar to Happiness, but I don't think it's like similar to Happiness. But Happiness had zombies too. But basically, the drama is called All of Us Are Dead, and I don't know anything about it. I just know that there are zombies and it's like zombie survival, and that's like the stuff that I like gobble up. Not zombies, but just thriller Korean shows and movies. Like, I feel like they're done really well, and I'm always like sitting on the edge of my seat. And then so I feel like if I force myself to read a handful of novellas, then I can treat myself to a couple episodes of that show. And that shall take us to probably 3 in the morning today. Right now it's 9:30 p.m. So I'm not sleeping, but I never sleep. If you guys are new, I don't sleep that much. I literally like sleep at 3, wake up at like 9, and then I get the show going, which is like not even that bad. 6 hours? That's a lot of hours. And other things that I wanted to talk about was that this week has been super weird for me. I feel like it just didn't fit. It just didn't feel right. Just like at work, it just felt like there was like so many things happening and so little things happening at once. And it was weird that I got to get off work before 7 on some days. It was weird how I could, have time to read physical books after work. So that was weird, but I treasured it because I know that my job is so demanding and it's so time consuming that whenever I have these days where I am able to focus and finish all my work on time, I have to treasure it. Hello, it's reading update time. It's been an hour and 30 minutes, and I have already read 4 novellas. I mean, honestly, with novellas, they're just so easy to read, and it doesn't take too long, anyways. And you feel so accomplished when you finish them because they're just like little short, quick stories of books, and they give you everything that you want, which is like a couple that's deeply in love and drama, and then a quick happily ever after. I really enjoy them. So, I had a lot of books to catch up on from one of my fave new novella authors known as Cassie Mint. I read all of her novellas. No, actually that's a lie. I missed one, but I read majority of all her novellas last year after I found her with her one book called Pool Girl. And I was intrigued by that book because Pool Girl looked a lot like Pool Boy by Nikki Salome, which like a lot of people were talking about back when, everybody was talking about that book. And I read Cassie Mint, loved her, and then now I'm slowly seeing her getting across to many other booktuber friends, and she's getting more recognition. So I'm very happy for her because obviously, like, she's a small indie author that has now grown and is building her brand of a romance novella author on Kindle. So she has this series called the Big Boy series, which is just featuring guys that are burly men. So one of the books that I read was Big Brativa. I don't know how to say Brava. I'm so sorry. I apologize. But basically, it's Russian mafia romance. Our female heroine is a daughter of a diplomat. She got kidnapped on the streets and then she is taken to our hero's place. And she got kidnapped by our hero's brother. And our heroine is very sassy and witty. And it's like a different type of character that I've never seen before from Cassie before, because usually her characters are like kind of weak, quiet, and just keeps to themselves. So I really liked our heroine in this one, and I really liked the banter that our hero and hero had too as well. I thought it kept the captive romance interesting because he was very nice and sweet, but then he would also like give little like snide remarks, and then she would like give snide remarks, and then obviously there has to be some conflict, and the conflict is that his older brother wants her to die so that he can like rise the ranks and things like that. So overall I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It definitely wasn't my favorite one from Cassie before. Like I think I've read a few that I liked more, so then this one's just a good solid novella read. So we don't always get like really great books from the authors we love, and there are a couple of novellas that I've given 2 out of 5 stars. So there's this one that I just read today called Big Bet, and I didn't like it. So it's very uncommon to see from her because usually we get the heroes who are super rich, and then our heroines who are super poor, and then we have like that rich poor dynamic that everybody always like fantasizes about, and then has like the rich hero take care of like the poor heroine. So this one involves our hero who is a blackjack dealer. He just works a job in the casinos, makes ends meet, and he is in love with his friend who is a showgirl, and she's a performer. She dances, but every time after her show, she always makes sure to go stop by at the casino to sit and watch him deal cards. And they've always danced around like the fine line between like embarking on something more, becoming something more serious. They never know what to do because they both have like this miscommunication, so they never know. And I just didn't like this one because I felt like the setup was just a little bit too weird for me. It kind of took it out of my usual fantasies when I read novellas, so it wasn't my type of story. So ultimately I gave this one a 2 out of 5 stars. I don't really like friends to lovers tropes anyways, so this one didn't really work in my favor, but I'm sure that there are a lot of people who like friends to lovers and would find this one to be sweet and endearing because they are really good friends. And then another novella that I think Brie from In Love with Words actually read recently in her romance reading vlog was this one called Big Beast, and it's a chef hero. He's like French and he has a French accent, but like it's cool. And he is basically a Gordon Ramsay, and he is preparing for like this food critic event, and he gives this dish to the server who is someone that he's really extremely attracted to. And she ruins it. Like, she spills the food onto the critic's lap and it ruins everything. And our hero fires her because, you basically ruined his career. So it's kind of like a bully romance in a kind of way, but not really. But he's just very straightforward and he's definitely very professional in the workplace. So he says some things and he fires her, and it's heart-wrenching to see because she has her own reasons as to what happened, and like she obviously didn't do it on purpose. So I think that was like my catnip, and I really like that aspect of it where he definitely messed up and now he has to go grovel and apologize. So I like that. So I gave that one a 4 out of 5 stars. So the last novella that I read is this one called Big Brain from Cassie Mint, and I think it's her most recent release, but it's a professor-student relationship romance that takes place in Scotland because our hero is a history professor that rises to TV stardom fame. And he goes to Scotland to go, do his research. And he invites one of his previous students to come with him on this like excursion. And they actually embark in a relationship, but it's kind of like a friends with benefits situation, and they just have fun with each other, but they never tell each other how serious they want to be. So by the end of the trip, they're literally like, are we together? Or are we not? And it's like that little fun little angst. Now, personally, I didn't feel a connection between any of the characters. I also wasn't too overly attached to their characters. I didn't feel like our hero was someone that I could swoon over, and nor did I feel like I cared about our heroine. So ultimately, this one too, I gave it a 2 out of 5 stars. But I'm sure that if anybody wants to read like a novella that takes place in Scotland that is an insta-love romance involving a professor and student trope, and it's like one of your favorite all-time types of stories, then you're definitely gonna like this one. So pick it up if you do. Also, I noticed in the shot that you can see that there's this drape hanging by a hook, and it's just draped over there. It's my projection screen. It looks messy like that. And then there's like a poster that fell down. That's why there's like an empty white space there with sticky tack stuck on the closet door. But we don't talk about that, okay? Okay? So I think I'm going to read one more novella, and then I'm going to treat myself to another cup of hot chocolate, and then I'm going to go watch All of Us Are Dead on Netflix, which is like a new Korean drama that features zombies. I think basically the zombie apocalypse has happened, and now it's a survival for the people who are surviving. And I like it. The reason why I like it also though is because I just am a huge fan of Korean thrillers and Korean like horror and like all this stuff. I feel like they're always so creative with it. They do it so well, execute it so well. So that's why I'm interested in watching it. Normally, if it was like an American television show, I wouldn't watch it involving zombies. No way. A movie set in America with zombies? No thanks. It's just not for me because I'm always let down by it, but like with the Korean movies and stuff like that, I'm never let down by it. Hi, hello. I just came back from my mental health walk, and my mental health walk is basically where I force myself to go outside to get some sunny D so that I can convince myself that mentally I'm doing okay, even though it's questionable. Anyways, this whole week has been just a week where after I finished work, it was already like super dark outside, and then I couldn't go outside because outside the road conditions were just like really icy and really gross and really bad. So it wasn't like I could go outside and take a walk and not slip and die. So it was like one of those situations where I had to be a hermit, and it was just so horrible for just like normal life enjoyment. It felt like I was going to work, looking outside my window, seeing how nice the weather was, but then not being able to leave my desk until like when the sun set. So it's very depressing, and I'm really hoping that daylight savings ends soon and I could get back my hours of sunlight, because I miss going outside for afternoon walks or evening walks where the sun is still there and I can see the sunset. So I'm really looking forward to spring and summer and fall. Do I have winter depression? I don't think so. Like, I'm not that depressed. It's like there's no time to be depressed when there's just so much things to do. You know what I'm saying? I also forgot to mention that this weekend is to kick off the Lunar New Year. I previously thought it was a little bit later, but it's not. It's this weekend, and I'm really excited about it. Not really. It's just a time where my family gathers, and I'm just excited for a time where I can spend with my family and where we gather and eat like a whole feast. The few parts that I don't like about Lunar New Year is the fact that I have to clean up my house, because there are a lot of superstitions that come with like the Lunar New Year, where you have to make sure that your house is tidy, your house is clean, and so that you can welcome like good luck and fortune into your life for the new year. So my mom's super superstitious, so I have to follow whatever she says, and sometimes it gets on my nerves. But I thought I will give you a little update while I do my makeup for filming my videos I usually film on Saturday. So let's just start off with some concealer and to conceal my emotions. Yesterday, I basically stayed up until 3 a.m. watching the new drama, which is called All of Us Are Dead. And it's basically set in a high school where a zombie outbreak takes place, and the kids have to learn how to survive. There are a lot of different characters that you start to learn, not like their backstories of, because you don't really get that much, but you kind of get their stereotypical kind of personality. And some characters you'll agree and you'll really like, but then some characters you just really hate and you just want them to die really quickly because they're just so annoying and they ruin everything for everybody. So overall, the drama right now, I'm on episode 4. It's pretty entertaining. Like, things happen really quickly. The fight sequences with the zombies are done really well, and the filming technique is really interesting too as well, because everything is kept at the edge of your seat. There's not really much of a conflict except for the fact that you have to survive the zombies because you want to live, because that's just how humans are. Like, we just, try to survive all the time. And honestly, if I was put in that situation where there was like a lot of zombies, I'll probably find a safe place in a closet and just, yeah, like, I'm not here for survival. Like, I don't think I'll thrive in those situations. I personally feel like I'll be the one to slow down the friend group, so why do that when I could just, sacrifice myself, I guess. But anyways, the drama is good for now, and I'm enjoying it so far. It has 12 episodes, which I thought it was only 10 episodes, which is kind of like sad, because I literally thought that I could finish it this weekend, but now I feel like that's kind of a challenge since I have videos to film and I have books that I want to read for this reading vlog. So it's going to be hard. Other updates in my life. So for like, in terms of novellas that I want to read for this reading vlog, I was thinking to myself, well, like, it's the Lunar New Year, I should probably read some Asian authors. And some novellas that I haven't read yet before is from Jackie Lau. Jackie Lau is a Canadian author. She's not on Kindle Unlimited, unfortunately, but a lot of her ebooks are actually available on my library. So I'm pretty excited about that, because her ebooks are kind of expensive, even though they're novellas. And some of the novellas I haven't read yet. I read the Lunar New Year one already, which is like really cute. I'll put a picture up like right beside me so you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then I'm gonna read maybe like, I don't know, like the other ones. There's like 4, and I only read 2 of the 4. So I'm gonna go pick whatever I want to read, and I'm just gonna read them. What I was saying about Jackie Lau is that she's a Canadian author. She actually lives in Toronto. I met her before in one of these like really rare like Toronto romance conferences, and she's really nice. And I like how all her books kind of incorporate Toronto and Canada into it. We never really get representation of Toronto in like romance novels, I feel like. I don't feel like a lot of the romance authors that are blowing up are Canadian anyways, so it's kind of like nice to see how some Canadian authors are rising to the top of the bestsellers list, because that's really cool. And then I thought that I would also read a lot of Jenna Rose novels. So like Jenna Rose, like, I feel like some of her novellas are kind of like weird. Like, her novellas has like really super alpha males that sometimes can be too aggressive and a little bit emotionally abusive. So I'm not really too much of big of a fan of her, but then at the same time, some of her novellas are getting better. So I feel like her recent novellas are getting better, but I want to go back and like read the other ones, the older ones that have like the really super nice covers. I don't know any of the titles that I want to read. I'm just literally going to look at her catalog on Kindle Limited, and then I'm just gonna read it. I'm just gonna pick some out, and then we're gonna see how we're gonna go. So we have one side that's like way too pink. It looks like I literally got frostbite. Actually, frostbite's black. I don't know what I'm talking about. But we're gonna try to get some color on here. I bought this like super light pink blush, thinking that I could be someone, but honestly, I think it's like too much. I think it's too pale. It doesn't really fit my skin tone, if you know what I'm saying. Blending it out so I don't look weird or drunk on camera. And then if I just want to make myself look like I'm natural, and I woke up like this and I went outside in the cold, got a little cold, and then came back to go visit you guys. And then in terms of the videos that I want to film today, so today is Saturday. Saturday is usually my filming day where I like to film all my videos that I want to upload on the weekend and then edit on Sunday. So like you guys are literally getting videos that are hot and fresh every single weekend. But this weekend, I wanted to film this video that I've been thinking about for the past month and a half. I've talked about it with my friend Lacey from Lacey Book Lovers, and she started laughing because it's basically a Goodreads comparison video where I'm going to go on Goodreads and then I'm just going to have Goodreads compare the books that I read against my friends. And then Goodreads allows you to like see the two ratings, and then I'm just going to comment on it. And it's going to be interesting because I know that my friends and I do not have the same tastes in books, and it's like a video not to meant to like shade them for having different opinions from mine, because literally everybody is entitled to their own opinion. So I'm not going to be like that, bitter person and just like say like, how dare you like this book that I gave 2 stars to. The one thing is that I don't know who I'm going to pick, because I hate it when I feel like I'm leaving someone out for videos, and I know like I don't really even give too many shout outs to many people on my channel, although I did have a video where I celebrated 5,000 subscribers and I listed a bunch of small booktubers I actually watched that I really enjoy. So if you guys haven't watched that yet, go definitely check it out, because those people are really great and they deserve the recognition, but sadly the YouTube algorithm doesn't help them out too much, and so they need support. Anyways, so for the people, I just don't know who I'm going to pick because I hate leaving people out. And I'm friends with a lot of people, or at least I talk to a lot of people. So I don't want them to feel that, their friendship means nothing to me. And then I also don't want to be like, this was the time that I could have given you a shout out, but then I chose not to, because then I would feel bad. So yeah, but it's not like I even have that big of an influence anyways. Like, that's my next issue. Like, just because I have this many subscribers on YouTube, I don't even feel like I can convince you guys to read a book sometimes. Like, yeah, my opinion is here, but I don't think I have that big of an influence. And that's fine with me, because I'm here just to be your friend, kind of entertaining a little bit, maybe. Hopefully. Put on eyeliner, so if I look a little bit different, it's because of that. As I was saying, I also feel like I should plan my videos better more, because sometimes I just sit in the camera and I just click play and then I just never have an idea what I want to say. And it ends up being a really bad process for me when I'm trying to edit my videos, because then it becomes where my voice sounds really tired all the time, but it's just like I'm straining my voice because I'm trying to think of the next word to say so I don't sound like an idiot. And then also like my editing time gets longer because I just have so much raw footage that I have to cut down because I stumbled over my words, I said something that I didn't want to say, I didn't know how to voice my opinion correctly, etc, etc. So this one's going to be interesting. Hopefully the prep time for this video is going to be short, because I literally cannot stand wasting too much time on one video sometimes now, because I feel like if it flops, then it's like, well, I just wasted 3 hours of filming and 2 hours of editing and 1 hour of like creating the thumbnail, and all for what? So sometimes I just should plan better so that filming processes could be easier. Sometimes when I do like the cat eyeliner, I'm like thinking to myself, do people still do cat eyeliners nowadays, or am I just still here doing cat eyeliners? But like I feel that with my eye shape and also just like in general my life, I feel like I just look better with cat eyeliner. Like I feel like if I just do normal eyeliner, it looks a little basic. So I'm just gonna keep doing it until somebody like stops me in the street and tells me that I'm too old for it. Like maybe like when I'm like 40 and I'm wearing like purple eyeshadow that is not right for my skin tone. Somebody's just gonna stop me and go like, honey, less is more. And then I'll be like, oh God. I honestly sometimes think about how I'm gonna be when I'm like 40. And I feel like, am I still gonna be the same dramatic person? Am I gonna be loud? Am I gonna wear, I don't wear obnoxious clothing, but am I just gonna look overdone? I don't know. Sometimes I think about how I'm gonna grow up and I freak myself out. But also another thing that's exciting today is that I'm connecting with my best friend again. Usually me and my best friend don't really talk for like a whole quarter. Like we just don't talk. Sometimes we like react to each other's like messages, but then we catch up after like a couple of weeks. And then she tells me everything that has happened, and then I tell her everything that's happened. And it's like a nice like emotional trauma dump, and it's a nice catch up. It feels really good when we finish everything off our checklist. We got so extra where I actually wrote everything that happened in my life the last time I talked to her, and all the way to like current day, so that she'll be up to date on my life, so she'll know exactly what's happening. I'm very extra like that. But I'm excited because I have a lot of things I want to tell her, because so many things has happened in my life and also at work and things like that. So I think it'll be a really good catch-up session. Obviously it's going to eat up into my reading time, but I think you guys will be okay with it if I don't read that many novellas today. Actually, no, that's not okay for me. The challenge was to see how many novellas I can read in one day, and here I am telling you it's okay to give up halfway through. I keep a brush right next to my monitor because obviously when I turn on the camera for my Zoom meetings with my clients or with my manager, I can't look like a crazy person. So the comb stays next to my monitor, and then I also have a bucket or like a small container of lip glosses that I just quickly pick out of and swipe something on. All my makeup is usually kept in the washroom, so I was debating whether or not I should do my makeup on camera because it's more cleanup for me. Like I have to put this away. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this little get ready with me, and I'll see you in my Goodreads video. Huzzah! Hello, it's Sunday, and I thought that I would come on here to quickly wrap up this reading vlog where today I read around 3 novellas in the morning before I went on my morning walk, where I almost slipped and died once again. I got really annoyed because when I came back home, I saw that I missed a package from like a delivery person, and it's probably a book from a publisher that I never asked to review, but regardless, I have to go pick it up, and it's like really frustrating because the place is like really far away, and I'm gonna have to ask my sister to like drop me off there, and it's just a whole frustrating process. But anyways, let's wrap up the vlog. So this morning I read Jenna Rose, as I said in my last clip, I believe. So I read this one called Maid. So Maid is one that I saw a couple years ago. I thought it was really interesting. I always like this dynamic where, you know, the heroine works for the hero. So clearly our heroine is hired to become the maid for his house, but this one happened a little too fast for me. I felt like that these were really early novels of Jenna Rose, so she hasn't quite developed her writing style yet, nor does she plot out her stories properly to make me believe in the love, even though it is insta love. I felt that the writing was also a little bit choppy too as well, and it just seemed a little bit exaggerated. So our hero was instantly attracted to our heroine, and wanted her to come work for him, but he makes the contract to be very personal, asking her to live with him, asking her to wear specific outfits and specific shoes. And it's clearly an abuse of power relationship because she's kind of uncomfortable with it because she wants to be taken seriously as a housekeeper, but he just wants her for himself, not like, just fooling around, but just like for him forever and always. So overall, this one I gave it, I think, a 2 out of 5 stars because I just didn't believe in the love. I didn't think that there were any moments that it was fluffy. Romance novellas aren't supposed to be too deep. I always want more in my novellas, and that's why I rate higher when it gives me more. So the next book that I read was A Big Surprise for Valentine's Day by Jackie Lau. So I mentioned that the Lunar New Year is tomorrow or this coming week, and I wanted to read more Asian authors. And one of the novellas I didn't read in Jackie Lau's series, where it's like the holiday themed ones, was the Valentine's Day one. So this one was very unexpected for me. It definitely shocked me and surprised me because I didn't realize how hot and steamy this one would be. If I remember correctly, her previous novellas didn't have this much steam, but this one definitely does. It focuses around a friends with benefits relationship where our two characters were, I think, classmates or at least childhood friends. They meet each other again and then they embark on this friends with benefits situation. Obviously, they start growing feelings for each other and it becomes more difficult when both of them are not sure of what the other person wants. Our heroine is very scared to get into another relationship again because she has dated a few duds in the past. Meanwhile, our hero wants to date her, but then knows that she is no strings attached. And then obviously there's also issues going on with each other's families too as well. This book also included a lot of food. Jackie Lau loves to put like Asian food in her books and it definitely makes you hungry. But this one, I just felt that the writing once again was just too choppy. I don't know what was going on, but like the conversations between our two characters felt stale. It didn't feel genuine. It felt forced to make a comedic joke. And it just felt awkward and stiff a lot of the time when I was reading the book. So it definitely took the enjoyment factor out of it. I was like, what is going on? Like, why does it feel like that, everything is chopped up into like many little pieces? So this one I gave an overall rating of 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't anything like too bad, but it wasn't also anything too special for me to give it a 4 out of 5 stars. And would I recommend you to read this series from Jackie Lau? Yes, I definitely do. I liked the Thanksgiving one, and I also liked the Christmas one because the Christmas one featured a road trip and then it was like a one bed situation, if I remember correctly. So the next book that I read was this one called Falling Snow by Alexis Adaria, and this is part of this series or this publisher called Flirt Club. So if you guys are in for novella treats and you want to look up for more treats like this, then definitely search up Flirt Club on Kindle Unlimited. You'll find a whole series of books that follow a certain holiday theme or follow a certain theme that multiple authors write for this publisher, and that's how I found a bunch of like indie romance authors that I started liking because of their novellas. So the most recent series I've seen was this Amnesia one where it was just super weird, where it just every couple in that whole entire series, they're standalone, but every couple in that whole entire novella series had amnesia. So I didn't pick that one because I didn't like Amnesia, or I wasn't in the mood for Amnesia yet. So I picked the one where it was like mountain snow holiday season. So I picked up this one called Falling Snow, and it's basically about a mountain man who lives in the mountains and wants to be secluded, and he doesn't want to be in society anymore. And then our heroine comes to visit like the cottage area, and then they meet, and then obviously they fall in love. This one itself felt very average. There was nothing really special to it. There was very low angst. It was just literally them getting to know each other, having a good time, and then her knowing that she has to leave because she doesn't live there. Like she has to go back to her real job and her real home. So she's heartbroken over that. And then that's like the main conflict, but obviously like happily ever after happens, and then that's that. So overall, this one was also an average read for me. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars because it was just like very boring. It wasn't bad, it was just boring. So I guess my ratings is different based on novellas than real books, because with novellas, like 2 out of 5 stars is either because something bad happened between our characters that I didn't like, or it was just boring. And there's that. So that is it for all the novellas that I did read for this little weekend reading vlog. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, another vlog for myself, and maybe you found some new romance novella authors that you do want to pick up. Obviously, I love Cassie Mint. Go check out her books. There are a ton of hers that she written last year that were 5 out of 5 stars for me. They're my ultimate favorites, and I think I would actually go back to reread them. But anyways, I'll see you guys again next time in a new video. Bye.